Hey everyone. Hey everybody. So I'm on the mighty Cambisi at world famous 40 boat Eddy, and I'm just gonna do what some people have requested for me to do, and that's basically just give share some tips that they can you know, latch onto and practice before they head out to a instructor course or any sort of course, so that they're set up and have good basic skills. And this is the kind of stuff that I'm not finding on YouTube, so that's why I'm doing it, because people aren't talking about it. And you know, everyone loves Instagram. I do too. YouTube, love those clicks. So I'm here trying to get some attention for myself. All right, so first thing is basically, how do you hold your paddle? I mean, come on. How do you hold your paddle? So your paddle is a big lever, right? To get the best leverage, you want to actually be holding it in the middle of the shaft, okay? You want to be using that pivot point as your lever. This does two things. One, gives you good leverage, okay? And the next thing is it actually allows you to get your paddle deep in the water. What do we know about the river? And that's it flows in layers, and the best layer is below the surface, not on the surface. So let's get our paddles deeper by grabbing the paddle in the middle of the shaft. See a lot of people coming into courses holding down here, even down here. The other thing with holding your paddle in mid-shaft is it prevents your thumb from getting pinched under or trapped under the gunnel. Okay, that says a couple things to me, is that for one, if my thumb is under the gunnel, I'm not rotating enough to get where I want to be with my shaft. It says my arms are outside the paddler's box. It says my paddle is not deep in the water. I'm going to talk about the pry. So the pry is basically, you know, as it sounds, a pry. But we want to use the best pivot point, the best fulcrum point off the canoe, and that's going to be the hull, okay? Not the gunnel. So you want to get your paddle deep into the water, and you want to get it so the shaft is levered off of the hull, not the gunnel. If you lever off the gunnel, you have potential for tilting the boat down. But for an actual pry, we want to move the boat to the side. No, we don't want to actually turn it over, if you know what I mean. Okay. So I'm just going to give some demos. Hopefully you guys can see everything. And this is another typical thing that I try and get people to work on before they come out to a course. I give them this information, and they ask for a video saying, "What do you mean, man? I don't know." So here we go. Okay, get your paddle deep in the water.
All right, got my hand mid-shaft there. Starting by doing a good body rotation, slicing the blade in behind me, getting the blade under the boat, and the shaft is right up against the hull of the boat. And here's something that we all do, putting our hand behind us, no body rotation, getting our hand below the gunnel. As you can imagine, there's less blade in the water, you can't really see it there, and no body rotation. Body rotation is key because it helps us actually stay engaged with our core. My blade is deeper in the water here, and I'm in a very strong position in the paddler's box.
Hey guys, the next thing I want to talk about is forward stroke. Okay, forward stroke is it is essential for solo paddling, kayaking, tandem paddling. It's basically the best stroke. It is the most important stroke. It's what you're going to be doing the most. So the day when you're tripping and you're doing 10,000 strokes a day, I don't know, I've never done a stroke yet, but you want to make sure that you can keep doing it throughout the day, right? And you want to transfer all that power straight into forward momentum. You want to avoid making it turning momentum, okay? So we like to get people to rotate, right? We're going to be rotating our paddle, our body, and looking through this window, lodging the paddle here, we want to try and get that blade as vertical as possible, and then we're going to be unwinding. Okay? But we can also lean forward and thrust our hips forward as well. Okay? Combination of both things. We want to do it with our T-caps nice and vertical outside of the paddle, outside of the boat, canoe. And we want to actually make sure that it's short and works within the most effective zone. And that's basically from where you plant to where you end up finishing your rotation. Here, rotating, moving forward, unwinding, throwing our hips forward. Okay? Do some demos. Essentially a boost stroke right there, but if you do a bunch of them in succession, it helps you build up speed and get to where you want to be. Hull speed is everything, right? That's what gives us stability. So that's why the forward stroke is most important, because basically if you're not stable, okay, then we're more likely to tip over. We can't tilt. We want to be able to build up hull speed on a moment's notice, and that strong forward stroke is the way to go. You can obviously modify this as per Canoe Canada 2x4. Okay, I can do little ones, baby ones, boom, boom. Okay, I can do big ones. Okay, basically we always want to have this shaft vertical. We want to be doing it in here. Last thing I want to talk about today is angles. Angles. Something that doesn't come up so much in Paddle Canada curriculum is the angle at which you're entering the water. It's super important. It is the most important thing. We talk about, men, pat, all these things. The defining thing that basically tells us how much speed we need, how much tilt we need, is the angle at which we enter the current. Okay, so if we're going to be dealing with currents that we're not confident with, then a conservative angle is the best approach all the time, right? If I'm wrong, let me know. But basically, that allows you to enter the current without much concern. Obviously, the next concern is turning around and facing downstream, but for the novice paddler coming into currents that they don't like, if you can approach everything with a upstream angle, a conservative angle, then your life will be a lot better. Okay, we ask people to enter currents, enter eddies with speed and tilt, and same for entering currents, and it's all relative, man. Basically, what matters is the angle that you enter it at, and then how you peel off through the current. Either way, okay. So you can come into a eddy with a flat boat, as long as you're coming head on to the recirculating current that's moving back upstream. I hope that doesn't confuse too many people, but it is kind of the thing.
So I'm just going to start these videos here with a flat bottom entry. You can see it's kind of like a surf or a ferry entry, and slowing it down, you can see how flat my hull is, and I'm actively trying to force the bow upstream here so that when I enter the current, I don't get spun around, and I'm kind of like straight on to the current. That way I don't need to tilt, and I really don't need that much speed. And coming up here is you're going to see a exercise I like to try and get my students to do, that basically do the exact opposite of what we're all trying to do, and that's actually just come in and get bounced back in, right? And play with that, just to get people comfortable with it. Speeding things up now, I'm approaching the angle at 45 degrees with speed and tilt. This is a lot more complex for people who are intimidated, and often they stop steering or stop providing power as they approach the eddy line just to focus on tilting the boat and not swimming overall. So I've had a lot of success just getting people to kind of approach these faster eddy lines with a flat hull to begin with, and kind of a ferry approach, and then progressing to more dynamic turns. So thanks for watching. I hope this gives you some valuable tips and gets you ready for your courses. And we'll see you out there. Keep the round side down.